At 32 years old, Thomas was living his life in reverse. Every night at 8 p.m., he clocked in for his shift as a warehouse security guard. And every morning at 6 a.m., as the sun finally crept under the loading bay doors, he walked home to sleep while the rest of the world woke up to build their futures. His paycheck barely covered his basic survival. He lived in a cramped, single-room apartment, sleeping on a mattress on the floor underneath a broken ceiling fan, keeping his old clothes and worn-out shoes in a pile in the corner. The hardest part was the walk home. Trudging through the quiet dawn, he could see families eating breakfast through their kitchen windows and professionals in clean shirts heading off to office jobs. He was forced to watch other people live out their days while he retreated into the dark to sleep. The deeply frustrating reality was that Thomas was not lazy. He walked 4 miles every shift. He stayed alert. He fulfilled every single one of his duties perfectly, but his energy was entirely trapped inside a closed loop that offered zero upward mobility. He was proving a harsh economic reality. Pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion without a strategic framework to capture and build on that effort guarantees nothing but a lifetime of survival. His tolerance for this existence snapped on a cold Tuesday in November. A phone call informed him that his mother, who had spent decades doing brutal physical labor in the countryside, had collapsed from severe exhaustion and stress. Sitting beside her hospital bed, looking at her overworked hands, Thomas realized he was staring directly at his own future. He was repeating her exact cycle of futile effort, and if he didn't find a way out, he would end up in the exact same bed. The next morning, taking the 6 a.m. bus back to town, he noticed a wealthy local businessman named Mr. Chun sitting across from him. While Thomas was completely drained from his night shift, the executive was sharply dressed, reading a book, and perfectly at peace before the sun was even fully up. Mr. Chun's quiet focus was an architectural choice. He had discovered that those who control the quietest hours of the day are the ones who ultimately dictate their own professional trajectory. Mr. Chun laid out a simple thesis. The specific window between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. is the only reliable block of time you have to construct your own life, largely because the rest of the world is paused in sleep and cannot interrupt you. Look at the mathematics. 2 hours a day adds up quickly. A week scales to 14 hours. Over a month, you invest 60 hours. Maintain this for 12 months, reaching 730 hours. Convert it into 8-hour shifts, you gain 3 extra working months per year. Powering this math requires a sacrifice. You cannot cheat sleep and succeed. This system only functions if you enforce a strict 9 p.m. bedtime, replacing late-night television and phone scrolling with rest. Time is not a fixed asset that everyone experiences equally. By shifting your schedule to wake at 5 a.m., you are mathematically engineering a longer, more productive year than anyone around you. To put those hours to work, Thomas restructured his day. Pillar 1, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., was dedicated strictly to high-leverage skill building. Sitting at his small table, he used free digital tutorials to teach himself Excel formulas, data analysis, and basic accounting. Pillar 2, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., focused on physical and mental maintenance. He spent this time walking, reading, and planning his day. Your body is the vehicle for your ambition. If you let it break down, your skills are useless. But getting here requires surviving the friction stage. During the first week, your body will physiologically rebel against the new reality. Your muscles will ache, your eyes will burn, and your brain will try to convince you to quit. This is where the psychological danger of just 1 more hour destroys most people. Giving in to the snooze button, even for a single morning, fractures the entire foundation and resets the habit loop back to 0. Thomas dragged himself through that pain, and right around day 20, he hit the adaptation milestone. He woke up 2 minutes before his alarm. The physiological resistance faded, the exhaustion lifted, and waking before dawn became his new baseline reality. Changing the trajectory of your life requires surviving this temporary, agonizing window of physical resistance before the new schedule becomes a baseline habit. By day 87, Thomas had finished 3 online certificates and finally deployed his new skills. He built a comprehensive Excel spreadsheet that fully organized his warehouse's broken, chaotic inventory system and handed it directly to his supervisor. The inventory model proved Thomas possessed a technical literacy the warehouse floor lacked. By merging his years of operational experience with his new certifications, he met the exact requirements for a new opening in the accounting department, a promotion that doubled his previous salary. That structural change created a profound downstream effect. Within a year, Thomas had the financial leverage to rent a proper 2-bedroom apartment and move his mother into town to finally receive the medical care she needed. Thomas's career shift was the point where his daily practice finally became a visible result. The promotion was simply the moment his professional reality caught up to the discipline he had practiced in private. The hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. are the last remaining sanctuary in the modern world. It is the only segment of the day completely insulated from digital notifications, corporate meetings, and other people's demands. So here is your immediate 3-step challenge. Tonight, set your alarm exactly for 5 a.m. Place the device across the room so you are physically forced to stand up to turn it off, and ruthlessly protect your 9 p.m. bedtime. You face a binary choice tonight. You can commit your first waking hour to building one specific, high-value skill for the next 90 days, or you can hit the snooze button tomorrow and accept permanent stagnation. Your upgraded, highly capable future self is currently waiting for you on the other side of tomorrow morning's alarm clock. Do not make them wait another